can move large numbers if necessary. And I think at this point I will punt it over because I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I've talked to state and I've talked to DOD today, but I think I'd be more comfortable letting the people who have the hands-on responsibility for that go ahead and characterize what they're trying to do. Helen.
The United States is not that helpless. It could have stopped the bombardment of Lebanon. We have that much control with the Israelis.
I don't think so, Helen.
For collective punishment against all of Lebanon and Palestine.
No, what's interesting, Helen.
And that's the perception of the United States.
Well, thank you for the Hezbollah view, but I would encourage you.
Nobody's accepting your explanation. What is restraint? You call for
Well, I'll
restraint.
tell you what's interesting, Helen, is people have. The G8 was completely united on this, and as you know, when it comes to issues
Stop
of
the ceasefire, why?
we didn't stop a ceasefire. Let me continue. I'll tell you what. We didn't even veto. Please get your facts right. What happened was that the G8 countries made a pretty clear determination that the guilty party here was Hezbollah. You cannot have a ceasefire when you've got the leader of Hezbollah going on his television saying that he perceives total war. He's declaring total war. When they are firing rockets indiscriminately, please let me finish. I know this is great entertainment, but I want to finish the answer. The point here is they're firing rockets indiscriminately into civilian areas. The Israelis are responding as they see fit. You will note the countries that disagree with the government of Israel in terms of its general approach on Palestine. Many of our European allies agree that Israel has the right to defend itself, that the government of Lebanon has the right to control all its territory, that Hezbollah is responsible, and that those who support it also bear responsibility. There is no daylight between the United States and all the allies on this. They all agreed on it. This was not difficult.
Why did we veto a ceasefire?
We didn't veto a ceasefire.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. There was no ceasefire. I'm sorry.
A resolution?
No.
At the UN?
No, the UN. No. You know what you've done. I see what you. What happened was that there was conversation about, quote, a ceasefire that was picked up on some of the microphone when some colorful language made its way into the airwaves yesterday. And the president was continuing a conversation he had had earlier with Prime Minister Tony Blair about staging. Would we like a ceasefire? You bet. Absolutely. We would love to see a ceasefire. But the way you stage it is that you make sure that the people who started this fight, Hezbollah, take their responsibility.
There was no veto at the UN.
No, there hasn't been a resolution at the UN, whatever it is. There hasn't been. I've been I was in Germany too long. There's been no resolution at the UN.
No matter who's to blame.
Because
killing.
it wouldn't stop the killing. What it would do is it would say to the killers, "You win."
Lives.
No, I don't think so. And I'm glad you raised this. You do not want to engage in a ceasefire that has the practical, when you say to the Israelis, you guys just stop firing. When you have Hezbollah saying, we're going to wage total war, because Hezbollah would read that as vindication of its tactics. And the idea that if you get the right sort of videos on television and you get the right things going on, you can allow them to behave with impunity, even though they are weakening the sovereign government of Lebanon. They are acting independently, even though they have received. All right, this is the hectoring now. Go ahead.
Tony, one of the things the president did sign on to was calling for